Hey, what's going on? This is basically my Flatland BMX bike check. I'm going to run through all the parts. I'll give you guys a once over real quick and then we'll get right into it. I recently got back into riding. I've taken a hiatus of about 10 to 15 years off of riding. I just didn't have it in me anymore. Flatland is very, very difficult. You can spend hours on your bike and not learn a single trick, and that's just how it goes, you know. So I do ride street. I do that to keep the monotony of trying to do a flatland trick over and over and over again. Keeps me interested. But yeah, like I'd say around January I got the bug again, watched a couple of contests, and just saw how much the riding has evolved over the years. And I started looking up frames, and then I plan on swapping all my old parts from my other build to this. And then I said, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to try to make it lightweight, try to put parts on there that are a little better than the stuff I had, and just see where this goes. So without further ado, let's start with the front and I'll work my way to the back. So the front, I have the N-Code bars from Far East Cycles. Far East Cycles and IGI seem to be at the forefront of all BMX flatland manufacturing these days. There aren't a lot of companies out there doing flatland specific parts from what I've seen, so really good company. I'll definitely support them. So Far East Cycles N-Code handlebars. We've got OGI grips, nice and sticky, feel very tacky. They have a good feel to them. We've got Armour Bikes bar ends, aluminum. The RIRI stem. This stem is something that I was really excited about, and unfortunately when I got it, it keeps moving on me. Like my bars are twisting, they're moving, and I maybe I'm doing something wrong, you know, user error, but I don't know, the stem doesn't seem to be as ready for my manhandling, if you will. But moving on, so we have the Theory headset running down to the forks. I cannot remember the name of these. These are actually forks from my old build. I can't remember the name. These are I'd say about 10 years old. We've got the Verde front wheel. It's a male axle, 36 spoke. We've got DECO woo pegs on the front. I really, really, really like these pegs. They're extremely lightweight. The knurling is very tight, so it feels like sandpaper. Not like your typical knurling that you see where it's, see how tight that is? Very tight knurling. Nice rounded edges so you can pivot. Very lightweight. Very, very lightweight. Not a big fan of the laser engraving. It's pretty massive. That's huge. Plus, the little period at the end of that looks like a blemish. If you see on the other peg there, it's got that same, the DECO, and then there's a period. And that looks like a blemish. It looks like a mistake, but that's part of their logo. It's massive. Not the biggest fan. Moving on. The front tires are Flatland MUGENs. These are supposedly really good on indoor surfaces. I run about 90 pounds of pressure in there. You can go up to 110 PSI. The frame is the Far East Cycles Turbo frame. This is a 19.7 inch top tube. I was personally looking for something a little shorter, but 19.7 is going to give me a little bit more room to move around, especially with like crack packers type stuff. They had this purple color, and I'm not really a fan of all the BMX components and frames being black now. It seems to be the only option for a lot of these parts. You got to get black on black on black, and I don't know, the world we live in is full of color, so why not throw some color on your bike, express yourself a little bit, your personality. So they had this in purple, 19.7. I said screw it, I'll buy it. It's super lightweight. It was a pretty good deal at the time, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. These are the Eastern pedals. I don't remember what these are called. I really like them. They're pretty lightweight. They're a little big. They're actually quite a large pedal, but we can get past that. The back, like where this goes in, if you look inside of here, it actually has a Allen key that you can tighten these with. so you don't have to try to get a very thin wrench to get inside there. And that was a very smart idea, whoever came up with that. Good job. Titanium Far East Cycles 152 millimeter 3-piece cranks. Far East Cycles 22 sprocket. This is the smallest sprocket I've ever run, and with the 9-tooth in the back, it actually isn't too bad. It doesn't feel like you're just, you know, spinning and not going anywhere. You can generate some speed. This is a KHE Prism. This was shipped from Germany. The St. Martin Pivotal. I've had this from my old build. Had this thing for years. This thing is pretty good. 4 pegs. I think that's what the company's called. 4-peg pivotal seat post. We'll move on down to the chain. This is the Odyssey Blue Bird chain. It's a little heavy, but this is fine. It's not really that heavy. I had a half-link chain before, and that was heavy. I am trying to save as much weight as possible on this build. This thing totals out at 20.2 pounds, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a 20-pound bike complete. So it just so happens that with these parts on there, it's about 20 pounds. DECO woo pegs in the rear. Same tires in the rear as the front. The Eclat, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Eclat or Eclat, but the Mugen tires. I've had this rear wheel custom built by Flatland Fuel. This is a Sun Envy rim, double wall, and I had they put the Far East Cycles freecoaster hub on the rear. It's got the female axle bolts, some purple nipples for style, 36 in the rear, 36 in the front. This thing ticks, so when the freecoaster is not engaged, it ticks, and I hated that, because that reminded me of my old street riding days where I had my street build and it would make that ticking sound, and I hated it. Now I actually like it, because if you're hearing that ticking, that means if you roll back like you see right now, your freecoaster isn't engaged and you're going to break your shins. So you kick this back a little bit, engage that freecoaster, it's silent, and you know that you're going to be safe rolling backwards. So that's a small little detail that I actually don't mind with that hub. But I think that about covers everything. The bottom bracket came with this frame, so did they include a seat post clamp, but I decided I wanted to put some color on this thing, make this a blue and purple kind of theme going on. But I think that about covers all the parts. If you guys have any questions about anything, hit me up anytime. I'm injured right now. I'm recovering from an injury that I had at work, but I've gotten on this thing once, and I really liked the way it felt. It was very, very nice, very responsive, everything. It was almost effortless to do certain tricks. Other tricks felt a little weird, but you know, that's part of the process of learning with a new bike that you have set up. You know, you got to learn the bike. But until next time, guys, take care, be safe, keep riding, man, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.